Good morning. My name is Dr. Stephen Doucher, more affectionately known as Doc D in a Dungeon. I run the engineering project shop here at Taylor University. We're located in the basement of the Euler building, and we're in Euler 000. Today I'm going to give you a quick tour of the shop, explain some of the capabilities that we have, some of the classes that we run through the engineering project, and even talk a little about some of the advanced projects that we're doing. So without further ado, we'll move on inside and give you the grand tour. For each class I do a board that has their particular safety glasses so that they have the same safety glasses each and every time that they come. So we'll walk on in and we'll talk about some of the equipment and capabilities that we have available here. As we scroll back around here, we have a Bridgeport manual milling machine. Wrong way. It does have a digital readout, power feed on 2-axis. We also are lucky to have two different CNC milling machines here at Taylor University. This is a Dynamite 2900. This is an older CNC machine. It's got a fairly small footprint, but a very robust machine. When I first took over the shop, this had been a donation some years ago from Marion General Hospital. Since that time, I have done a retrofit of the controls and the motors on the axis. So did a mock motion retrofit. It is all working now with the exception of the automatic tool changer. That is still a work in progress as we try to figure out how we're going to make that work like it should. Moving on over a little bit, we have another CNC milling machine. This is a Micro Proto Systems. They are basically a rebadged TAG lathe, or excuse me, mill, and so this is run off of Mach 3. And it's fully operational. The enclosure was built by the previous lab manager. We have a cutoff saw, a Grizzly Geo 613. We can do some limited sheet metal work here. And so here we have a 3-in-1 combination tool. This is a sheet metal shear, a finger brake, as well as slip rolls. We'll go ahead and walk into the wood and plastic shop. Here we have another Grizzly milling machine. It's a mill drill machine. Does not get a whole lot of use. We're probably going to move that on to somebody else and free up that room for some other materials. Pardon the mess right now. We're in the middle of organizing. We use Legos as some of our teaching aids, and so one of the projects that I did was to create Lego storage out of the old card catalog files, and that is still a work in progress. Still here more Legos and other mechatronics type materials. Underneath all that is a saw stop machine. These are designed so that if you have inadvertent contact with the saw blade by your body or any conductive material, it will immediately stop the blade and drop it out of engagement. And so, very safe machine, and we're lucky to have that. Moving around, we have our little wood shop machining center there, where I have a belt and disc sander, a miter saw. We have a little band saw, or not a band saw, excuse me, a little tabletop jigsaw. And we also have a planer. We have a nice wood work table there. Got two vices on opposite corners. We have a nice Grizzly drill press. Got an MT3 shank on it. Moving over here, we have a machine that I use probably the most out of any of them. I'm using this just about every day, and it's an Epilog Helix 60-watt laser cutter. We do a lot of projects with this. We do a lot of rapid prototyping with this machine. And the two materials that we use most frequently are Luan, which is about a 1/8 inch thick underlayment board that Lowe's sells. They're about $15 for a 4x8 sheet. And then I also do a lot of cutting with acrylic. And so these are the two most commonly used materials in the shop. And I've made some very, very nice projects with those. Student toolboxes. We'll move on through back into our main hallway here. Here we have a Stratasys U-Print SC Plus 3D printer. This is a very high quality printer. Do quite a bit of different projects with that. I'll hold out some of the different things that we have done. So here we have a set of intermeshed gears that were printed in situ. All right, printed in place. A little crescent wrench. And this was something that I just played with last year. Created a resistor cube. We have a total of 10 different workstations within the shop. And so this is an instructional area with, again, 10 different workstations. Each of the computers is outfitted with all of the software that is utilized within our curriculum, both for computer science and engineering, as well as physics and engineering. So we also have a series of test equipment, oscilloscopes, pulse generators, signal generators, power supplies, soldering equipment, everything that the students will utilize here in the course. What we're looking at right here is a shape table. We are involved in conjunction with Near Space Launch in developing thin-sat satellites, and that's done through Taylor University. I'm also involved with a FIRST Robotics competition team, which is Muncie Delaware Robotics, otherwise known as Team 1720 Fixed Gears. So we utilize the shape table to simulate a launch sequence and to see if our satellites will stand up to the G-forces generated by the launch. Next thing we'll talk about is our universal testing machine, which is right here. And so we use this in the statics class. Previously we had done stress testing, strength testing tensile testing of bridge structures. And so this was one of the class projects, is that as a group the students would design and calculate the load-bearing capacity of a static bridge. And so this is one of the different models that was used in years past. Another different model, this one has already been stress tested. So what can students expect to be able to utilize here in the engineering project shop? As of right now, the work areas that we're currently standing in are open to students from about 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. The only caveat to that is that there must be at least 2 students, and they must have card access enabled, which we do that for each of our students. The wood project shop is typically only available through the day when we have faculty and staff oversight, though with forewarning and coordination, with coordination, it can be available much later. We're currently in the process of revamping our oversight of the engineering project shop, and we're looking at bringing on some TAs to open up the facilities for more opportunities for students. The actual machine shop itself, currently students are not allowed to use those machines, so we are working on developing advanced curriculum that will allow students to utilize those machines and that technology. The laser cutting and the 3D printer are open to students with the caveat that their projects must first be approved by a faculty sponsor. All right. We also have a few other 3D printers. So here we have a Maker Farm 8-inch Prusa i3, which is my personal machine that I brought in. I also have another Prusa clone that I'll be bringing in the next few weeks. We have another older 3D printer that is in the process of getting a retrofit. That will be up and operational for fall of 2019. So students will have open access to the less expensive 3D printers, and they are PLA-based plastic. The earlier printer that we looked at, the Stratasys U-Print SE Plus, was actually uses ABS plastic, and it uses a proprietary material, so it's much more expensive to use, whereas the Prusa clones and the 3D touch printer here, they all use PLA plastic, which is much less expensive, and so we're much more open with students utilizing those with very minimal supervision. So that concludes our tour of the shop, the engineering project shop in the basement of Euler. This is Dr. D in the dungeon. Very exciting time for prospective students in the engineering and physics field, as well as the computer science and engineering. We sponsor several different classes through this particular workshop. The ENP 104, Introduction to Engineering, half of that curriculum is based out of this shop. We also have rapid prototyping and mechatronics-based classes that are sponsored through the computer science department. And we also have our junior and senior projects are based out of this shop. Students design and develop their projects underneath the supervision of faculty and staff. And so again, very exciting time. We'll look forward to seeing you. Please schedule a visit today. Thank you. Dr. D in the dungeon.